Hey guys, I hope all of you are doing well. I know all of you are doing well now that you've graced this channel. Before I get started, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to click that little notification bell, and please make sure you have your notifications set so that you can be notified every time I upload a new video. So you guys, I wanted to talk to you today about growth and how growth comes in stages, but also within those stages, growth comes in cycles as well. So within the stages of growth, you are going to go through a cycle, right? It is a never-ending cycle as well. But I wanted to talk to you today about some of the things that I discovered about growth, just looking at my own journey and doing a lot of self-assessing, but also just looking at people who want to take their lives to the next level, some of the things that they have done, and it's usually a reoccurring theme with a lot of successful people, and I wanted to share that with you today. One thing that I discovered about growth is that it boils down to these four basic stages. Now, there are, of course, a lot of sub stages and there are other things that take place. But what I've really discovered about growth is it comes in these stages, these basic four stages. The very first stage is safety. I talked about this a lot in the women and masculinity videos that I did. And it is important that when you want to heal, when you want to grow, when you want to create, you have to have a measure of safety. Nothing grows, nothing heals, and nothing can create without a measure of safety. When you look out into the wild, right, and you see a wildebeest, they have to ensure the safety of their young in order for that animal to grow into its full potential. If that animal is not safe, they are subject to grave danger, and ultimately it could lead to their death. Having a measure of safety ensures that you are out of survival mode. You can't think, you can't create, you can't heal, you can't grow without a measure of safety. And when you are in survival mode, you are just surviving, right? You can't think about anything else. You are digesting your food differently. You can't do anything when you are unsafe. So safety is priority, top priority in the stages of growth. The second stage of growth is comfort. When you are comfortable, right? When you feel safe, you feel comfortable enough. Now you can rest, you can heal, you can rejuvenate because you're comfortable in your space and environment and mind, body, and soul. When you are safe and you are comfortable, right? Once you've given yourself that safety and now you are comfortable in that safety, you are running on your parasympathetic nervous system, which regulates you, which calms you, and makes you comfortable enough to create, to heal, to think, to be able to really get rest, to digest your food better. You are in a better space because you are comfortable enough due to your safety. The third stage is discomfort or uncomfortability. At a certain point, when a person is growing or a person who has a growth mindset, at a certain point, they are comfortable with their surroundings. They have gotten familiar with themselves, with their surroundings. They have a sense of safety. Maybe they have a safe, secure job. They go and do the same thing every day. They have a routine and they are comfortable, right? But when you have a growth mindset, at a certain point, there's going to be this intuitive nudge for you to do something different. And when you're comfortable, right, you tend to kind of do the same things, right? We are creatures of habit. That's just how we're wired, right? So when you are safe and you are comfortable, Sometimes at a certain point, that comfortability becomes your prison, so to speak. A person who has a growth mindset, they are going to challenge their comfort zone. The minute you begin to challenge your comfort zone, that is when you are entering the third stage. This is the stage of pattern interruption. You know, some people say, well, I drive to work the same way. And because they drive to work in the same way, and they have noticed this, they have this awareness about themselves, and they don't want to get comfortable in doing the same thing over and over and over again. They say, you know what, I'm going to drive a different way to work. That in and of itself is a mode of discomfort, because now your brain has to adjust and it has to problem solve when you were just running on autopilot. You knew the street, you knew which turn to turn, and you were doing that without even thinking, because again, we are creatures of habit. A person with a growth mindset wants to interrupt that pattern of behavior in order to think and rewire their brains in a different way. Stage number 4 is expansion. You have become uncomfortable with your comfort zone. That means that you are stretching yourself. That means that you are ready to go to the unknown. That means that you are ready to widen your horizon and broaden your horizon to experience things that you've never experienced before, because the familiar has caused the discomfort. Now you are ready to expand. You are ready to go out and venture. You are ready to stretch beyond familiarity. And expansion is the final stage of growth. When you have reached this pinnacle of growth in this certain aspect of your life, then the cycle begins all over again. But with each level of growth, you're going to get to a place of safety, of comfort, discomfort, and expansion. And that cycle continues over and over and over again. And yes, the dichotomy is you are going through a cycle, but it is not circular, it's spiral, right? You are spiraling up towards that growth. Everything in nature seeks growth. I realize that in order for me to grow to my full potential, I have to go through these stages. I have to be able to be okay with the nudge of discomfort. And a lot of people will say, well, you know, you're safe now, you're comfortable, you know, you have a great job, why would you do this? And it's like, I don't know, I have this urge. Now I feel uncomfortable because I'm not growing. And because I'm not growing, this nudge will not go away, right? Because my soul is seeking more growth and more expansion in order for me to go to the next level. A lot of people are not going to understand you when you have a growth mindset. They're not going to understand when you are in the stages of discomfort, right? Because people are creatures of habit. People love comfort. So when they see that maybe you have a good job, maybe things are going well, you have a great relationship, or you know, you live in a great city, or whatever the case may be, right? But when you, as a person with a growth mindset, when you feel that nudge of discomfort, and you know that it's not going to allow you to rest until you begin to go into the next stages of expansion, people are not going to understand you. And it's okay. You have to expand and spiral up the ladder of growth in order for you to reach your full potentiality in this world. There are going to be so many cycles where you are going to, you know, feel safe, be comfortable. Then that discomfort comes, then the expansion comes. But the beauty of all of this is that you grow and you learn and you just become a higher and higher being in this life with all of this knowledge, all of the pain from the discomfort that you have. And in the discomfort stage, that is the make or break stage, right? That is your make or break stage. When you are uncomfortable, you're either going to expand or you are going to allow yourself to get complacent with your comfort zone. You are going to have to go beyond what you see in that discomfort stage, right? You cannot look at familiarity, because comfort will keep you in that stage of familiarity. You have to go to the next level. You have to expand, right? That is where your higher self, or God, or the source, whatever you want to call it, that's where you are going to meet God, the goddess, in the expansion of your full potentiality of yourself. I wanted to go ahead and leave you with that. I hope all of you have a great day, and make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'm going to leave you for now, but I will be holding on to your love until the next one. Expand yourself, go beyond your comfort zone. You are going to grow into your fullest potential ever. I'm wishing you the best, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.